Hello ladies and gentlemen, in this video we are going to see about the sources of Indian constitution. Okay. While preparing the Indian constitution, our constitutional makers analyzed the constitution of other countries and they taken various provisions from a constitution of other countries which they think will be suitable for Indian conditions also. So likewise, we are going to see what are all the constitution that was taken from what are all the provisions of a constitution that was taken from a different countries. Okay. First, we can see about the provisions that was taken from a constitution of a United Kingdom. Okay. So, first provision is about the nominal head. Okay. So, nominal head in United Kingdom, nominal head is a king or queen. Likewise, in India, a nominal head is a president. Next, cabinet system. Important decision about the government and its functions was taken by a cabinet ministers or cabinet system, and this provision was drawn from the constitution of UK. Next one is a prime minister. So likewise, UK also following the prime minister form of a government. India also following a India also having a prime minister post. Next one is a single citizenship. In UK also there will be only there is a single citizenship only. There will be no separate state citizenship. In India also it is a single citizenship. Then parliamentary type of a government, which means in our country a parliament consists of two houses, Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. Likewise in the UK also it consists of it upper house and the lower house. Next, bicameral legislature. As already said, the parliament consists of two houses in these both countries, UK and India. Then powerful lower house. In India, lower house is nothing but a Lok Sabha, which is a powerful than that of a Rajya Sabha, and council of a minister was responsible to a Lok Sabha, which is a lower house. Then power of a speaker of Lok Sabha speaker and his or her powers. Next one is a prerogative writs that was taken from a United Kingdom constitution. Then parliamentary privileges. So these are all the provisions that was taken from a constitution of a United Kingdom. Next one is a provisions that was taken from a constitution of a USA. Written constitution. UK does not have a written constitution, but USA having a written constitution. Likewise, the Indian constitution is also a written one. Then executive is a president. In India also executive president is a president. In USA also executive is a president, and he or she is the supreme commander of armed forces. In both the countries, the president is a supreme commander of armed forces. Then vice president as a chairman of a Rajya Sabha. So in India, Rajya Sabha chairman is the vice president. Then fundamental rights. Then Supreme Court's provision of states. Then independent judiciary and the judicial review. So independent judiciary means that in India, judiciary is independent from the legislature and the executive organs of the government. Likewise, in US also, it is an independent one. Then removal of a state high court and Supreme Court judges. Then preamble. So these all provisions was taken from a USA. Then provisions that was taken from a constitution of a Japan. Procedure established by the law. So procedure established by the law means that every lawmaking and its implementation was according to the procedure. Okay. Then law regarding Supreme Court functions related to the Supreme Court. Then provisions that was taken from Ireland. Concept of a directive state principle. So this DSP was already taken from Spain by Ireland. Okay. These principles, directive state principles, was taken by the Ireland from Spain constitution, and our constitutional makers taken it from Ireland constitution. Next, method of election of a president. So president election and its a procedure. Then nomination of members to the Rajya Sabha. President nominates 12 members to the Rajya Sabha. Okay, from various field. Then Weimar Constitution, Germany. Suspension of Germany Constitution is known as a Weimar Constitution, and the provision that was taken from the German Constitution is the suspension of a fundamental rights. So fundamental rights will be suspended during the emergency period. The next thing that we are going to see is provisions that was drawn from a Canadian Constitution. Residuary powers with the center. So the residuary powers also with the central government. As we know that the subjects are classified into three types. One is a union list, second one is a state list, and third one is a concurrent list. Okay. Apart from these three lists, there will be a residuary power. Okay. That residuary powers also rested with the central government. Then distribution of the powers between the center and the states. This was related to a union list and a state list and other executive powers between a central and a state government. Then federation with a strong center. So in our country, central government is a very strong one. Okay, when compared to the state governments. So these provisions was drawn from a Canadian Constitution. Next one is a constitutional provisions that was drawn from a South African Constitution. Election of a members of the Rajya Sabha and their procedures. Okay. Amendment of a constitution with a special majority, as we discussed in our previous videos relating to the amendment of a constitution. We see that the constitution can be amended with a special majority. So that special majority provisions was drawn from a constitution of a South Africa. Next one is from a constitution of a USSR. Today's it was Russia. Okay. So fundamental duties. This was drawn from a USSR Constitution. While enacting the Indian Constitution, there will be no fundamental duties, but it was inserted into the Indian Constitution during the period of emergency period by amending the Constitution, which is nothing but a 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act. Then ideals of a social, economic, and political justice in a preamble. So this was a provision that was drawn from a USSR Constitution. Next one is the provisions that was drawn from an Australian Constitution. Concurrent list. As already said that the list was divided into three types. One is the union list, in which the central government has all the powers to create a law, and then the state list, for which the state legislature has the powers to create a law. Then third one is a concurrent list, in which both the central government and the state legislature and parliament can legislate a law on the subjects of a concurrent list. So these concurrent list provisions was drawn from a Australian Constitution. Then language of a preamble, then provisions regarding a trade and commerce and intercourse, then joint sitting of a two houses of a parliament. So whenever the certain law becomes clashes, the certain law becomes passed in one house, but another house does not approve passage of such law, then there will be a joint sitting between these two houses, and Speaker of a Lok Sabha will act as a chairman for such a joint sitting. So the provisions of this joint sitting was drawn from a Australian Constitution. Then from a Government of India Act 1935. So these provisions was drawn from a Government of India Act 1935, which is nothing but a federal scheme. Then office of a governor, governor's office. Then judiciary, Supreme Court, High Court, all these provisions, all these related judiciary provisions. Then public service commissions, Union Public Service Commission, State Public Service Commissions were there. Then emergency provisions. Then administrative and other administrative details. So we have seen about the sources of these were all the provisions that was drawn from a constitution of another countries. So this is what is known as sources of our provisions of a constitution. Okay, this is the countries of sources of a Indian constitution. Thank you.